Hello guys, today I'm gonna continue reading the book Fahrenheit 451, and yesterday I left at the page 39, and which begins the phases 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days. And as many times he came out of the house, and Clarice was there somewhere in the world. Once he saw her shaking a walnut tree. Once he saw her sitting on a lawn knitting a blue sweater. 3 or 4 times he found a bouquet of late flowers on his porch, or a handful of chestnuts in a little sack, or some autumn leaves neatly pinned to a sheet of white paper and thumb tacked to his door. Every day Clarice walked him to the corner. One day it was raining. The next day it was clear. The day after that the wind blew strong. The day after that it was mild and calm. And the day after that calm day was a day like a furnace of summer, and Clarice with her face all sunburned by late afternoon. "Why is it," he said one time at the subway entrance, "I feel I've known you so many years." "Because I like you," she said, "and I don't want anything from you, and because we know each other. You make me feel very old and very much like a father." "Now you explain," she said, why you haven't any daughter like me. If you love children so much." "I don't know. You're joking." He stopped and shook his head. "Well, my wife, she just never wanted any children at all." The girl stopped smiling. "I'm sorry. I really thought you were having fun at my expense. I'm a fool." No, he said. "It was a good question. It's been a long time since anyone cared enough to ask a good question. Let's talk about something else. Have you ever smelled old leaves? Don't they smell like cinnamon? Here, smell." "Why? Yes, it is like cinnamon in a way." She looked at him with her clear dark eyes. "You always seem shocked." "It's just I haven't had time. Did you look at the stretched out billboards like I told you?" "I think so, yes." He said he had to laugh. "Your love sounds much nicer than it did." "Does it?" "Much more relaxed." He felt at ease and comfortable. "Why aren't you in school? I see you every day wandering around." "Oh, they don't miss me," she said. "I'm antisocial, that they say. I don't mix. It's so strange. I'm very social indeed. It all depends on what you mean by social, doesn't it? Social to me means talking about things like this." She rattled some chestnuts that had fallen off the tree in the front yard, or talking about how strange the world is. Being with people is nice, but I don't think it's so social to get a bunch of people together and then not let me talk. Do you? An hour of TV class, an hour of basketball or baseball, running, another hour of transcription history or painting pictures, and more sports. But do you know we never ask questions? Or at least most don't. They just run the answers at you, bing, 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 and us sitting there for 4 more hours and film teacher. That's not social to me at all. It's a lot of funnels and a lot of water poured down the spot and out the bottom, and them telling us it's wine when it's hot, when it's not. They run us so wretched. By the end of the day, we can't do anything but go to bed or head for a fun park by billing people around, breaking window panes in the window smasher place and red cars in the car wrecker place with a big steel ball. or go around in the cars and race on the streets, trying to see how close you can get to lampposts, playing chicken and knock hubcaps. I guess I'm everything they say I am. Alright. I haven't any friends. That's supposed to prove I'm abnormal, but everyone I know is either shouting or dancing around like wild or beating up one another. Do you notice how people hurt each other nowadays? You sound very old. Sometimes I'm ancient. I'm afraid of children my own age. They killed each other. Does it always used to be like that? My uncle says no. 6 of my friends have been shot in the last year alone. 10 of them died in car wrecks. I'm afraid of them, and they don't like me because I'm afraid. My uncle says his grandfather remembered when children didn't kill each other, but died away a long time ago when they had things different. They believe in responsibility, my uncle says. Do you know, I'm responsible. I was spanked when I needed years ago, and I do not do all the shopping and house cleaning by hand. But most of all, she said, I like to watch people. Sometimes I ride the subway all day and look at them, listen to them. I just want to figure out who they are and what they want and where they're going. Sometimes I even go to the fun parks and ride in the jet cars when they race on the edge of town at midnight. And the police don't care as long as they're insured. As long as everyone has 10,000 insurance, everyone is happy. Sometimes I sneak around and listen in subways, or I listen in the soda fountains. And do you know what? What? People don't talk about anything. Oh, they must. No, not anything. They name a lot of cars and clothes or swimming pools mainly, and say how swell. But they all say same thing, but nobody says anything different from anyone else. And most of the time in cafes they have the joke boxes on, and some jokes most of the time, or the musical wallet, and all the colored patterns are running up and down, but it's only colors and all abstract. And at the museums, have you ever been? All abstract. That's all there now. That's all there is now. My uncle says it was different than once. A long time back, sometimes pictures said things or even showed people. Your uncle must be a remarkable man. He is. He certainly is. Well, I've got to be going. Goodbye, Mr. Montag. Goodbye. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days. The firehouse. Montag, you sing like Paul, Montag, you sing that Paul like a bird up a tree. 3rd day. Montag, I see you came in the back door this time. The hound bother you? No. 4th day. Montag, a funny thing. Heard tell this morning. Fireman in Seattle purposely set a mechanical hound to his own chemical complex and let it loose. What kind of suicide would you call that? 5, 6, 7 days. And then Clarice was gone. He didn't know what there was about the afternoon, but it was not seeing her. It was not seeing her somewhere in the world. The lawn was empty, the tree empty, the street empty, and well, at first he did not even know he missed her or was even looking for her. The fact was that by the time he reached the subway, there were vague stirring of unease in him. Something was the matter. His routine has been disturbed, a simple routine, true, established in a short few days, and yet he almost turned back to make the walk again, to give her time to appear. He was certain if he tries the same route, everything would work out fine, but it was late. The arrival of the train put a stop to his plan. The flutter of cards, motion of hands, the eyelids, the drone of the time voice in the firehouse ceiling. 1:35, Thursday morning, November 4th, 1:36, 1:37 a.m., the tick of playing cards and the greasy tabletop. All the sounds came to Montag behind his closed eyes, behind the barrier he had momentarily erected. He could feel that firehouse full of glitter and shine and silence, or brass colors, the colors of coins, of gold, of silver. The unseen men across the table were signing on their cards, waiting. 1:45. The voice clock mourned out the cold hour of a cold morning of a still colder year. What's wrong, Montag? Montag opened his eyes. A radio hummed somewhere. War may be declared an hour. This country stand ready to defend its. The firehouse trembled as a great flight of jet planes whistled a single note across the black morning sky. Montag blinked. Beatty was looking at him as if he were a museum statue. At any moment, Beatty might rise and walk about him, touching, exploring his guilt and self-consciousness. Guilt. What guilt was that? You play, Montag. Your play, Montag. Montag looked at these men whose faces were sunburned by 1,000 real and 10,000 imaginary fires, whose work flushed their cheeks and fevered their eyes. These men who looked steadily into their platinum igniter flames as they lit their eternally burning black pipes. They and their charcoal hair and soot-colored brows and bluish age smeared cheeks where they had shaving clothes, but their heritage showed. Montag started up, his mouth opened. Had he ever seen a fireman that didn't have the black hair, black brows, a fierce face, and a blue steel-shaved but unshaved look? These men were all mirror images of himself. Were all firemen picked them for their booked looks as well as their proclivities, the color of cinders and age about them, and the continual smell of burning from their pipes. Certain Beatty was there. Beatty there, rising in thunderheads of tobacco smoke. Beatty opening a fresh tobacco packet, trembling the cellophane into a sound of fire. Montag looked at his card in his own hand. I've been thinking about the fire last week, about the man whose library was fixed. What happened to him? They took him screaming off the asylum. He wasn't insane. Beatty arranged his cards quietly. Any man's insane who thinks he can fool the government and us. I've tried to imagine, said Montag, just how it would feel. I mean, to have firemen burn our house and our books. We haven't any books, but if we did have some. You got some? Beatty blinked slowly. No. Montag gazed beyond them to the wall with the typed lists of 1,000,000 foreign books. Their names leapt in fire, burning down the ear under the axe, and his hose which sprayed not water but kerosene. No, But in his mind, a cool wind started up and blew out the ventilator grill at home, softly, chilling his face. And again, and again, he saw himself in a green park talking to an old man, a very old man, and the wind from the parks was cold too. Montag hesitated. Was it always like this? The firehouse, our work, well, once upon a time, Beatty said. What kind of talk is that? Fool, thought Montag to himself. You give it away at the first fire, at the last fire, book of fiery tales. He glanced at the single line. He said, in old days, before homes were completely fireproofed. Suddenly, it seemed a much younger voice was speaking for him. He opened his mouth and it was Clarice McClellan saying, didn't the firemen prevent fire rather than stroke them up and get them going? That's rich. Stoneman and Black drew forth their rule books, which also contained brief histories of the firemen of America, and laid them out where Montag, though long familiar with them, might read, established 1790 to bring English influenced book in the colonies. First fireman, Benjamin Franklin. Rule number 1, answer the alarm swiftly. Number 2, start the fire swiftly. Number 3, burn everything. Number 4, report back to firehouse immediately. Number 5, stand alert for other alarms. Okay, now it's up to today, and next time I will read from the page 48. Everyone watched Montag. He did not move. Next time I will, which is tomorrow, I will continue in that sentence. And tomorrow at the last match, so I hope I can score some points. I think we're gonna win because we have the morale, because last time we won them. Like they were the last in our championship, so I think we can win tomorrow. So wish me luck. Peace.